Oceanos.
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 This is Justin and Max Games, and we're going to be doing a review of the fun, light family ocean diving game called Oceanos by Antoine Bauza, very famous designer.
Great
and
game.
This is on Yellow Games. Great game.
I'm just going to say, hands down, great game.
Okay game. Now, before we start, I think it's interesting when we're reviewing this game to know that Max, we all have in our lives our first word. My mom told me that my first word was the word toys.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense for kids. Max's first word was?
Fish.
Fish. And he also volunteers at the local aquarium. And where did you go this whole morning with family?
The aquarium.
So Max
Where do I volunteer?
The aquarium.
Where have I gone to every camp ever?
He's gone to all the aquarium. Max is definitely... So the theme of the game for Max really fits 100%. And Max also... Oh, he's hugging the table which has all the cards. And Max also likes things that are not only animals and fish, but also things that are cute. So he's a big fan of cute. And the art in this game, I'm going to start off, but what is your opinion about the art?
So there's actually two different kinds of art, and I like them both. I like the cartoonish animals that are really cute and funny, but...
And these are standees. This is just for fun in the game. They don't have any... They're just to get you in this theme of the idea.
I like that.
Yeah.
And the art, the background art, I love it because the cards that you place together, the water on top ripples connect, the mountains on the back connect. They connect all the way down and across, and it looks amazing. We're probably going to put up a picture of...
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely have some pictures up of the cards.
Me putting all of the cards as close together as possible, and then you can see how all of the
It creates a painting.
Yeah.
It creates a really beautiful picture.
And then there's just cartoon art.
And you have cartoon, cool, funny animals. They have, one's blowing bubbles with a pipe, and he's got a watch. Another one's got a hat.
One is a propeller.
And the crab has the pirate, the hand, the claw hand. The hook hand, right? The hook hand. Claw, I guess, would be as natural. And also, when you're the first level of the game, the first round, you're at close to the surface of the water.
And you get deeper and deeper, darker and darker,
right.
Until at the bottom you see the sand.
And this is a tableau building game. You're going from left to right, and you're adding cards. And it's also you're drafting cards with the players around you.
And then first player gets most likely more cards.
And first player will get more cards to choose from. And here's the basic issue with this game is that you have, when you're looking at cards and deciding what you want to do with them, they have a lot of information on them. And you're trying to correlate the information that you have on the cards with what your strategy is in the game.
And what you're trying to get for.
And what you're trying to get. And your submarine.
Your submarine.
What your submarine, and you're upgrading your submarine over the course of the game. So, for example, on this card, which looks very cute and simple, we have a whole bunch of different pieces of information.
So we have a crab, which will allow you to get 2 points for having at least one different kind of animal.
Right, so you have the animals in the middle, which you're trying to collect, as long as your ship can hold
on
that
top,
much.
There's a kraken eye.
That little red dot, and that's a negative.
And whoever has the most kraken eyes each round will get the kraken negative. The first level, the second level, and the third level.
And they go up in points usually.
Or
negative. More negative. Possible.
Yeah. And it is slightly random because level 1 could be 0, 1, or 2. Level 2 could be 1, 2, or 3. Level 4 or level 3 could be 2, 3, or 4.
So the higher, the longer it gets in the game, you're taking a little bit more risk. And that's basically what this game is. And at the bottom of the card,
And then at the bottom of the card, there's treasure chests, which is actually a very interesting part of this game. Whenever you place a treasure chest, you must immediately decide either to place a diver on it or not, because at the end of the game, all of your treasure chests with divers will get whatever treasure chest it's on. But the reason why you wouldn't put a diver on everyone is because when the divers float up, they get every treasure chest along the way.
So it is a little bit of the way it works in science.
So you're like, I'm not going to put one on because I'm hoping I get one.
And then the last little bit of information in the lower corner there, and all the cards look different.
Is a crystal.
Crystal.
And a crystal will allow you to do an upgrade, since that's a green crystal. Or this green.
That one was a yellow one.
This is a yellow crystal, and that's a green crystal, right?
Well, no, this one is the base.
Yep. So there's these things. So one color, one crystal will allow you to get a level 1 item, to a level 2 item.
So you're upgrading different parts of your submarine for what you want to get.
And then both types will allow you to get a level 2 to a level 3 using
a base. So you're basically almost like reading a book. You're going from left to right, and if you pass a crystal and then you go to a base, then you can immediately upgrade that whichever part of the ship that you want. And then that's your strategy. Are you going to go for more animals, which is your animal hold? Are you going to go for points, which is the tail fin of your ship? Are you going to go for seeing more cards, which is the periscopes? Are you going to go for the
other people?
Right, and you're looking at other people's things as well. So there's a lot of information on the cards, and then there's also one other strategy on this card is that some of them also have what's the plant?
That is coral.
Coral.
At the end of the game, you're trying to connect corals on different cards that are adjacent, and your largest area of adjacent corals will give you 1 point per coral.
That's essentially the game is you can't do everything. You can't upgrade every part of your ship.
You can't upgrade every part of your ship. You can't get all the treasures. You can't get all the fish. You could get all of those.
Yes.
But
so you have to decide. You can, and you get. You could also upgrade your fuel, which will allow you to get more cards because you'll be able to hang on to more. It's a planning ahead game.
It's a planning ahead, but tactical at the same time.
Yeah, because if you don't get the right cards, you're just like, well, I don't have the right cards.
You're strategizing to see what kind of stuff you want to do, but the tactical is how you're going to do it based off the cards.
Right, and you might have to change in the middle of the game. There's some major random elements in the game. Of course, there's the cards that come up, and
which
you can,
I don't find negative.
Yeah, I don't find that a negative because you can mitigate that with how many periscopes you have.
And then the Kraken negative is a little bit too random for me. It'd be cool if you knew what it was before.
And then you could say, well, do I really want to take these Kraken eyes, or do I not want to take
major random part.
The ending of the game. This really is the big swing for me. So let's say Max, you had let's say you had 5 treasure. You were able to swim up and get 5 treasures.
And our third player
let's say they had 4 or even 3.
But if they had 3, if I got the worst ones and she got the best ones, she would destroy me on points, and that could sway the whole tide of the game for points.
Because it goes from 2 to 4.
It's 2, 3, or 4.
2, 3, or 4 in the treasure.
I can do 5s.
You're basically at the end. You're just pulling from a bag, and you say, well, I got a 2.
While someone else goes.
No, you got a 2. Oh, 4. We had one out before.
Yes.
So, and if you get a lot of treasures, you might get a bunch of 4s and 3s, or you might have a bunch of 2s.
Someone with 5 could get 10 points, and someone with 4 could get 16.
So I could see at a family level game where this is...
it's not too complicated.
It's not too complicated. It gives you enough choices.
For a family game, it's a great game.
I think for family... The only thing is I could see that someone that's younger... Like for me, if I'm pulling out of the bag and I get a bunch of 2s, I just laugh it off. I could see someone who's younger, 8 or 9 or 10,
feeling
or even younger.
bad about that.
Yeah, like they're working the whole game to get this stuff, and then they end up with, the 2s or something like that.
Like they worked the whole game for this one treasure chest, they get a 2. Someone else did nothing, gets a 4.
I probably, as a parent, maybe if you were younger and playing the game, I might take the 2s out of the bag.
And only have 3s or 4s?
3s or 4s, right. So you're never getting like the junk stuff. But that's just me, I'm nice that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
But for me, this is a nice family game. It goes really fast. You could do a whole game.
We did a whole game half an hour. We did 2 games in 45 minutes.
Yeah, if that, yeah. And the artwork is stellar, and it's fun, and putting your ship together is fun. The only thing about the parts is that sometimes if you're in the middle of the game and you're trying to rush things, I wouldn't take your things off and then put the next thing on.
Because what I just do, and what I taught all...
Yes, he taught us all.
I built my thing, and then I just put it on top.
Yeah, just place the next piece on top and then connect that. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the little joints between the puzzle pieces start to tear a little bit. So that would be just a little bit of a concern, especially with younger people. Overall, though, this is a fun game, and it's so nice looking on the table. I'm going to rate this a solid 7.
I'm going to rate this a solid 8.
And so between the two of us, that gives it a 7.5, and I think that is a reasonable one.
So the Justin and Max review rating of Oceanos.
Oceanos is 7.5, 7.5.